Hey everyone, this is Steve Codad. This particular video is for anybody that is interested in potential career in Feng Shui, or anybody that is a real estate professional, agent, home stager, that is interested in seeing how Feng Shui can really benefit everything that you do, actually. Our school, the school is created by myself and my partner, Lisa Albin. It's called the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui, and we train and certify both new consultants, there's the logo that we give out, and for real estate professionals, and there's that logo. So this particular video, I want you to understand, touches on the potential of how Feng Shui can be incorporated into everything, into your life and any business that you're actually in. So I do an awful lot of work, a lot of research and studies on LinkedIn. And so I wanted to look at a lot of different categories to give you the idea of where there is so much that you can possibly do with Feng Shui. There are some of the places, some of the folks that are on LinkedIn who could definitely be clients of yours if you're going to be making it a career, for example. But if you're a real estate agent, please don't close that door either. There are a lot of folks here that really could be interested in what you offer in that category. So if you look at some of these, some of them are definitely bigger numbers than others. But people in renovation's a big thing. And Feng Shui, and I can promise you that my partner, Lisa Albin, does an awful lot of work with renovation and interior design. But lighting expert, 67,000 plus. Clutter expert, of course, a big thing in Feng Shui, but there are people that do that for a living. And certainly Feng Shui can be involved with that. Staff productivity, I probably could have used maybe a different term to type that in, but 71 came up. And you'll find out in Feng Shui, there is a calling, a desire for people to help with productivity in a business. And then down at the bottom, maybe health and wellness might surprise you that it's on my list about Feng Shui, but it shouldn't be. It's a big deal. And there's an awful lot of people that are in those areas that are interested in somebody that knows how to use Feng Shui, whether it is to stay and enjoy their house or to possibly help them to sell. 6.8 million folks are on LinkedIn that are, whether they're a nurse, a doctor, in therapy or whatever. And just a few more. Landscaping is another thing that I have been involved with, and certainly a very important component with respect to selling a house. But home builders, I used to love doing this as a former realtor, loved being able to help people build their house from the ground up and give them advice on what would work and what wouldn't with respect to things like Feng Shui. Interior design, huge field. Real estate investors, more and more of them are interested in what Feng Shui can do for you. So again, going back to the real estate possible idea, you can understand, since a lot of you do work with investors, that they might be really interested if you have a real good solid background in Feng Shui. And of course, there are a ton of real estate agents on LinkedIn, 851,000 plus at last count. But there's so many other ways to do this. I actually have a particular presentation that I give to schools, and especially elementary teachers. They love the idea of how you could set up their classroom. All types of holistic workers want their environment to feel special. And again, you talk about business. It doesn't matter if you're talking the CEO or the newest hire, they all could use your help. So everyone really could use a Feng Shui expert, no matter if you're making it a career as a consultant or you're working in real estate. There's just so many possibilities. You just have to think about it. So there are a lot of waiting rooms, as you probably know. They certainly could use some help. But your home office, okay, or your office at work, coffee shops, as I said, classrooms, there's so many possibilities. But the thing about feng shui is really the most important for you and your family. Let's talk a little bit about some of these niches. Office productivity. It's a big deal nowadays. So your business can be made a magnet. And again, you can make a career out of just doing this kind of thing. But you want to be able to offer them things like increased productivity. Feng Shui can do that because of the organization, because of making things a lot more pleasant. You retain your best employees, you actually hire better employees too. You decrease absence because things are much better there at the office. You improve their attitude. Here's a particular picture that is in a real estate office, believe it or not. And this is not very, very positive, going from one part of the office to the back. So you want to be able to generate a sense of comfort for everyone. And once you do that, everything else becomes a little easier. People want to be there because you've made some changes. This is the normal look of a lot of offices. You can imagine, you can imagine that organization and productivity probably could be improved there. So feng shui people, feng shui consultants are called in all the time to handle something like this. But they're also called in to handle things like a workroom. This is a very common looking workroom for a lot of us, but it can be made very welcoming and even motivating and encouraging. The lighting can be a real problem. So you become sort of a lighting expert in feng shui. Our school, the Entrance School of Feng Shui, has a whole module on lighting because it's so pivotal to how people actually proceed in their jobs and at home. You want to bring in outside the nature, the natural world, because it really is a very pivotal thing for us to feel a particular way. Live things create a great deal of energy. You also want to be able to use things like motivating posters that show the outside. And feng shui has a lot to do with the five senses. You might not have known that, but we want to take care of what you hear, what you smell, and so forth. Feng shui really is involved with an awful lot of things that you probably didn't think of. You take care of things like these sharp corners too in feng shui. I can guarantee you that a lot of offices would appreciate the idea of being able to think ahead in handling these situations. Here's a waiting room that maybe you like, but I think it could be spruced up. And one of the things we're always trying to do, whether we're talking about a waiting room, an office, or a storefront, we're trying to draw people in. So you can imagine, again, back to the real estate example, we need to be able to draw people into a listing. So the backdrop to that desk could certainly be helped quite a bit by bringing in some color. And once you do that, there's more attention, more attraction. So you get really, really good at using focal points. Landscaping is a great niche and renovation. And again, as I've mentioned, my partner does an awful lot with this area. So just the landscaping part, taking care of the front yard, making it sure that it's really attractive, has a lot of color, and the sides actually give support. A lot of folks don't think about the sides of a house, how important they are. All they worry about is maybe the front and maybe some of the back. But in Feng Shui, the sides also give protection and can be used and beautified quite a lot. But again, the backyard, which we refer to as the mountain, needs to come up to a particular standard to give us that feeling of support, some extra privacy, and yes, even some beauty. So we get involved with an awful lot of renovation, as I said before. Here's a house that definitely needs some help, as you can probably guess. So being creative and understanding particular feng shui techniques can be very, very helpful. This is another career place for a lot of folks out there that they probably have never thought of. Here's another one, sort of a blah looking home. You're wondering, well, what can you do with this? Well, there's a lot that you can do with it. And a lot of the feng shui that you see in this picture has to do with getting energy to the door in a particular way. It's actually bringing in some contrast, that's drawing attention. So adding color is a big thing in feng shui, big, big thing. So we're always trying to get our students and our clients to do something like that. So the color attracts attention. The color attracts the chi, or the energy also, that we need to make sure that the house feels its best. We also try to show curves instead of straight lines as much as possible. That might surprise you a little bit, but straight lines are man-made. They also make it more uncomfortable for folks. So we try to take something like this and change it to something like this, where it's actually been expanded somewhat, but we're bringing in curves now. Same here. And this house looks just fine. But by using the idea of color and curves, the landscaping just pops and it continually brings in the energy into a house. Again, I've said how much I loved working with new construction. I still like working with it. It's just that in a different capacity. So there's a lot of planning that goes into building a home. Probably most of you know that. But this is a great time, whether it's a custom home or you're using a mass builder, to really get in there and make the right decisions. These mistakes, and they can easily happen, can really hurt your client for a long time. So you have a rare, rare opportunity to really do some very important research and studies and taking care of things like the master bedroom. Where is the best place to put it? Where is that person going to get the best night's sleep? You can consider bathroom locations. In Feng Shui, there is some locations we'd rather it to be. And we also worry about where the plumbing is located in the wall with respect to furniture placement. Picking a lock is not just, hey, that looks okay. In Feng Shui, you pick a lot so that you're going to be more comfortable year round. So we have a chance to reduce sharp edges in the house right now. We have the opportunity right now to handle some landscaping. And of course, we have the opportunity to bring in the right colors, another big component of Feng Shui. As you know, home offices have become huge now. So whether you're having to still take that commute or you're lucky enough to be working at home, home offices are a big time business now. So again, whether you're in real estate or you are a Feng Shui consultant, this is something that you can really work with and become an expert at. Many, many people want to be able to be as productive, if not more productive, in their home office. So you can see there's an awful lot of potential here for everybody. Helping define the best home. A lot of people think with respect to feng shui and real estate, it's just for selling the home. Boy, is that not true. In our school, we have developed 16 different steps to find the best home for sale. So you'd be very interested in finding out what those are, whether you're a consultant or, again, as a realtor. So helping a client find their new home or office could certainly be your niche. And it's a very enjoyable niche to be able to look at places and make sure that things work out real well for them. We have a checklist for sellers. We have a checklist that we offer for buyers. So this checklist talks about the features that you really look for. And I can promise you, you want to handle all of them as much as possible. But really, you really can't probably find a place that it checks off all 16, but you try to get as close as you can. Here's one of the tips to selecting a home: the ideal location. I know, you've always thought of this, but you've never thought of it the way a feng shui consultant does. This is definitely the mantra for most real estate brokers. But again, feng shui has a slightly different twist that is very, very vital for your client to be very happy. We look at everything. Again, if you decide to get into this business, you'll look at a lot of things that you never thought about. For example, is the proportion of certain items out of whack? Is it unattractive in a certain way? There's so many things that you can really learn about that are going to help you and help your client. So this is a great niche, great niche. And this criteria, again, is offered in our training. Staging a home and working with real estate agents. Definitely a niche that a lot of folks think of when they think of feng shui. And it's definitely something that I used, or I did an awful lot. So staging, definitely you can be brought in to work with this. And if you're a real estate agent, certainly having this on your resume can certainly help you. And the neat thing about feng shui, why, even though I am a certified home stager, and I then stopped going that route and started using nothing but feng shui, it is so inexpensive to set up an environment. I loved talking to clients and saying, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do an evaluation for you right now. I'm going to use a checklist, give it to you, and then we're going to go through these items and get your place ready to be active on the market. And you'll find out that just following feng shui techniques that we have put into a step-by-step program, it makes things so much easier and less stressful. Another one is evaluating personal homes. Again, this is really more for, of course, consultants. But you find out, real estate agents, if you want a side business, certainly feng shui could be a great niche for you in a lot of ways. And it's perfect for going into retirement. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to stop working. I'm in my 70s now, and I still love working with people and helping them. In feng shui, it's really not what you totally think. We also look at things like EMF, electrical magnetic fields, in feng shui. We talk a lot about this in our training. We work, of course, on the inside and the outside. Another difference between most certified home stagers, we do an awful lot on the outside. We even offer the 8 most impressionable moments of trying to sell a home when you're thinking of feng shui. And number one is the outside. So again, if you decide you wanted to eventually make this a career, there are so many ways for you to do it. And here's one. Do you like looking at stores? our offices or whatever. You can do an awful lot just by working with commercial. So for example, here's a before, here's an after, here's a before, and here's another after. Again, you can get really good at this at drawing in customers to businesses. And then when they walk inside, you're going to blow them away because of the way you set it up. For example, the one on the left to a lot of folks is not quite as enticing as you might say the one on the right. That is a before and after. Same here. The one on the left is sort of the norm, isn't it? And the one on the right is a lot different. So Feng Shui can certainly handle a lot of businesses that you possibly never thought of. And here's one of my all-time favorites, since I like bakeries. And certainly not all of you are interested in being a speaker, but it certainly can be a lucrative business for you. There's so many clubs, women's clubs, garden clubs, and so forth that would really love to be able to hire you and have a chance to hear what you have to say about Feng Shui. And then the nice thing is that a lot of them then hire you to do an evaluation. Here's a picture of myself in Boca Raton, Florida. We had over 150 realtors in our audience. There's so much interest. Here I am, actually in Kissimmee, Florida. We had a great turn up there also. And here I am in Sarasota. We had quite a large audience there too. Here's my partner, Lisa. She speaks all over the place too, and is a wonderful speaker. And here she is at a boutique. Here she is at one of those clubs that I've mentioned. And then another niche is universal design. Not everybody knows what that even means, but it's really considering the idea of somebody that is disabled or older and making it very safe and comfortable for them. A fantastic niche for a real estate agent. And it's certainly a niche that Feng Shui practitioners are brought in for all the time. So creating a home with Feng Shui really can help people. It promotes health if you do it correctly. It gives these folks a sense of security and reduces their energy. They don't fall as much. They stay happier, a lot more comfortable. It improves their mental well-being. Feng Shui has a lot to do with handling how you feel mentally in your environment. It's attractive to all of our senses. And yes, it even strengthens relationships. People just feel better in an environment that has been handled using Feng Shui. Again, great niche for a realtor or a Feng Shui consultant. Another big thing nowadays is green building. And there are so many connections between green building and Feng Shui. Direction, of course, is important in Feng Shui. Our school looks at it a little bit differently because we're worried about where the sun comes up and where it goes down, so we can make sure that your environment is comfortable all day long. So very, very important aspect to us, but we do the modules on direction, making sure you understand why a client wants to be facing southwest, for example. And we do go over all that stuff, but our school also handles it a little bit different. So the sun and the wind definitely can have a big effect on how comfortable we are in our setting. So we try to make sure that we help people save money on their heating bills using smart landscaping. But it also can give comfort if we do it correctly. And you understand this can be very important for you to help your client like this. So we spend a lot of time looking at those kind of things around a house or any property. We do windbreaks too. We talk about the type of trees that you want to grow, where you want to put them. You want to do things that cut down the wind, but also allow the winter sun rays to be able to get into your house and create some warmth for you. And then when it gets really, really hot in the middle of the summer, we want those trees to do a different thing for you. Space clearings you may or may not know about, but space clearings can be a very important aspect of getting a house ready to sell, but also being able to do something like this periodically when you're staying at a house. So it's a specialized form of you might say, of a transformation. Just increases the energy in a personal way and in the space itself, very deep levels. And again, it's another niche that could be very helpful to you. There are some of the benefits from doing space clearings. It increases the energy and vitality of the people that live there. You get a better quality of sleep if you do this periodically. Strengthens the immune system, improves communication between people that are the inhabitants living there. Stronger, healthier plants. Another thing that we talk a lot about at Intrinsic, the use of indoor and outdoor plants. And this might sound funny, but more critters are going to show up if you have a piece of property that has good feng shui. They just know that it's a good place to be. So your pets will be healthier. Your relationships will be better. You'll be a lot more creative. Your financial flow usually increases because you are so much more organized, so much happier. You have a feeling of ease, well-being, and yes, even peace. So making folks' environments healthier is another very important thing that we do in Feng Shui. And so we definitely, of course, reduce clutter and make folks become a more organized, better self. So you can check out these items for a client. EMF again, toxic chemicals. Yep, we even talk about that. And of course, we correct and soften poison arrows. But again, we give you information about plants that will take care of toxins and also bringing in natural sunlight, which helps an awful lot with your mental health. Just a few studies. One of the things our school does, probably we're the only school that does this, is we give out a lot of studies and research to back up what we're talking about. So that when you talk to a client, whether again, real estate mode or as a consultant, you can back it up that there is research out there. It helps to reduce stress, these indoor plants. It increases productivity. There's a reason why a lot of offices have plants in them. It reduces sickness and absentee. My goodness, that important aspect if you're a CEO. And it's more attractive to job applicants. I'm sure you're trying to attract the best and the brightest. This is a great way to do that. Another niche is creating a sanctuary. We all need a sanctuary. We all need a place to renew our energy. Great niche to be involved in. Interior design and renovation. I told you that Lisa does this an awful lot. It's very lucrative for her. A lot of people really enjoy this aspect of things, and Feng Shui consultants always enjoy this. So, in summary here, some Feng Shui consultants love the freedom of being able to move all over the place, and that's great, okay? So you can go to viewing homes or businesses, any type of environments, including stores. So you might really enjoy doing that and helping people in that way. But the neat thing about it, Feng Shui allows you to actually run your business totally from home if that is what you prefer to do. And several people in our area, that's what they do. They're using their phone, their email, and with Zoom. And with their clients helping them by maybe taking some pictures and answering some questionnaires, you can really do an awful lot for some people. So I mentioned this once. This business can be set up and run well into retirement. So if you're in real estate and after so many years you want to do something that's a little bit maybe easier on your stress levels, this is a great business to get into. So both of our certification courses are self-paced with lots of help from Lisa and myself. These again are the logos that we give out. We give out information and material for marketing yourself. And if you'd like further information, please just email us at office@Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. Thanks very much for listening.